We talk a lot about quality time, right? But what does that actually mean anymore? Especially when our phones are basically glued to our hands. In this explainer, we're going to re-examine that whole idea. We're diving into why just being in the same room often isn't enough, and what real connection actually looks like today.
And boom, this quote just hits you right between the eyes. A service fee. I mean, just think about that for a second. It's not an investment you're making in your relationship. It's more like a tax you pay for just existing in the same space. It's time that you spend together that doesn't actually bring you any closer. So let's unpack what that really means.
And that brings us to our first big idea, what we can call the quality time illusion. It's that feeling, and I bet you know it, of being with someone but feeling completely alone. I mean, sure, you're physically there, but where are you really?
We've all been there. You're on the couch with someone you care about. Maybe the TV's on in the background, but the real glow is coming from the little screens in your hands. You're each in your own little digital bubble, and this quiet, invisible space just grows between you. It's this weird, modern kind of loneliness, the kind that happens when you're not even alone.
And here's the kicker. This isn't a one-sided thing. You both feel it. There's this unspoken understanding that, hey, this isn't really connection, is it? But we don't really have the words for it, so it just keeps happening, night after night.
So this leads us to the core of the problem, and it really boils down to two very different concepts: proximity versus presence. One is a genuine investment in your relationship, and the other is kind of like a slow, quiet withdrawal from the emotional bank account.
Okay, so let's break this down, because the difference is huge. Proximity, that's just about sharing the same GPS coordinates. And here's the tricky part. It has the appearance of effort. It looks like you're spending time together, but really it can be a slow withdrawal. Now, presence, that's something else entirely. That's giving your actual attention. It's a real willingness to be there. And that's not a service fee, my friends. That is a high-value deposit.
So what exactly makes a deposit high value? It's your complete, undivided attention. And I absolutely love this last phrase here, without an escape route. That means the phone is face down, the laptop is shut, you're not 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You're all in right here, right now. And that total focus is what gives that moment its power.
This brings us to what might be the most fascinating idea in this whole breakdown: the relational exchange rate. See, it turns out not all time is created equal. There's some surprising math behind building real connection, and trust me, it's probably not what you think.
This line right here is setting us up for something really important, a big idea that feels kind of counterintuitive at first. It's a huge reminder that the real value of our time isn't measured on a clock. It's measured in the quality of our attention.
And here it is. This is the exchange rate in plain sight. Get this. 2 hours of distracted time, watching a movie while you're both just scrolling on your phones, is actually worth less than 5 minutes of a genuinely focused, undistracted conversation. I mean, that just completely flips the script on what it means to spend time together. It's not about the quantity at all. It's about the quality of that deposit.
Let's just zero in on that number for a second. 5. Just 5 minutes. That's all it might take to make one of these high-value deposits that's worth more than a whole evening of just being in the same room. It's not about trying to find more hours in the day. It's about finding 5 fully present minutes.
Okay, so now that we get the theory, let's bring it home. In our final section, we're going to talk about checking your deposits. It's time to take this from an idea to something we can actually apply. To take a really honest look at our relationships and ask, what's the real balance?
And you gotta understand, the stakes here are really high. This quote nails it. Mistaking proximity for presence. It isn't just neutral, it can actually be damaging. It becomes a slow withdrawal. And because it looks like you're trying, it can be even more confusing and frustrating for the other person. You're there, but you're not really there. So what can you do? Here's a super simple way to do a quick audit on your own relationships. First, just start to notice those service fees, that time together that kind of feels like an obligation, or just leaves you feeling drained. Second, pinpoint the slow withdrawals, those couch and scroll moments. And third, get intentional about making high-value deposits. Look for those little 5-minute windows to put the phone down and really truly connect.
So we're going to end with this question, which is really what this has all been leading up to. And this isn't about feeling guilty or anything like that. It's just about being aware. When you really think about your most important relationship, are you mostly making deposits, or are you paying service fees and making slow withdrawals? What's the real balance in that account?